So let's start this class, and for that I'm going to open my terminal, cd desktop, and cd the folder name, full stack code, and I'm going to open this. Okay, why taking too much time to open this? So guys, first let's understand how to write the JavaScript code in the browser. So for that I'm going to open a HTML file like this, and I'm going to remove all the stuff. So and also I'm going to remove the bootstrap link, so I'm not going to use any bootstrap thing in this class, and I'm going to change the title. And so now I'm going to write some code of the JavaScript. Suppose you're writing h1 hello world, and you open this file in a browser. So you open this file in the browser. So I'm going to desktop, and this is the file, and it's appearing. So this is a way that you have to add the markup language. You can also add some style keywords like color property, red, or whatever you want to be add. So it will be looks like this. So everything is understandable, but I want to write some JavaScript code. So what should I do? So for that you have to write some script language, script things. So you can add the script in anywhere in your browser, in your HTML file. So suppose I'm going to add the script in the header part, but generally I recommend to add any script code at the end of this file. So for that we have to write a script, and you have to close and open. Between this like tag you can write the JavaScript code. So now I am going to write the first JavaScript code, and I'm going to write here console.log first Java. So guys, I hope you know this is the console log. This is a simple this is a print function of the JavaScript, and you can see, and I'm going to save it. So this code is not appearing in your browser. When you save this file, when you refresh this file, it will not appearing in the browser. But if you want to see this output, because this is a programming language code, so you have to see this code in the console part. So you can use the browser and you can see the console very easily. Just you have to go to the inspect part, just right click and go to the inspect. You will see a bottom thing is there's something is open in the bottom section, or sometimes in the left hand section. You can be control this section by using the setting part. Let me like this. So this looks better. So here you see the hello world appearing, and if you have to go to console, your output will be visible to here. Suppose I'm going to write again my world, and your my world is appearing, means your page like add JavaScript code like this way. So this is the way. First thing, this is the this is a first method to can add the JavaScript code in the browser or in the HTML code. But not same as the like the CSS file. Like you can add a CSS in separate file. You can also add JavaScript code in a separate file. So suppose I'm going to create a one more folder here and pass name is src, and inside this name is main.js. Okay, this is a JavaScript file, and I'm going to write console.log run from main file. Suppose I'm going to write this console. So you can add this file in the console in a script format. You have to remove this part, and you have to pass src, and you have to pass the directory name. So directory is under the src, under the main. Okay, now save it. You can see this is the output, and when I run this, it is run from my main file. So it is very easy to handle the JavaScript code. So now in this class, I am going to write everything in this main.js file to understand the JavaScript for this class. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to start the JavaScript class from this file. So guys, till this point, there is any confusion? that you are facing to understand what is happening in this last few minutes or 5 minutes? Hello? No, no. I don't think there's any issue you are facing to this point. No. So let's start the class. So because JavaScript is a programming language, so it supports some basic thing about the programming language, such as it has some variable things, it has some function, it has some methods, it supports what array, data collection, and multiple things. So we are going to deal with one by one. So first of all, that's how to create a variable in a JavaScript. Variable means suppose you are going to write console.log and just rephrase this. Just 1 second. Let me set up this way that okay. Now I hope you are able to see both the screen. Yes or no? So now the world is appearing. Guys, image. So I am going to be create because you're in the console part you are passing some string or some value or some text like this. So I am going to pass some dynamic value, not like a fixed value like this way. So how I can do that? So for that case, you have to create the variable. So in a JavaScript, variable can be created by three ways. First method by using the var keyword. Var keyword is means you can be create a variable by the var keyword. First you have to write the var and then you have to pass the variable. Suppose I'm going to pass name. And then after you have to pass the equal to sign. This is a meaning that you are going to assign this value to some real value. And you have to pass Amin. Okay, either you can add the semicolon and you cannot add the semicolon, both are the same for this statement. But few cases you have to write the semicolon, is mandatory to write the semicolon, but I will dealing with this in the later classes. So instead of writing this like Amin or and all, so I'm going to pass this variable. When you pass this variable means when you pass this variable and run this file in the browser, what will happen? So it will be print this name, but this name is not like any text. This is a variable and variable stores some things. So it will be printed Amin. So suppose I'm creating the variable but didn't pass anything. I'm creating this variable but didn't pass anything. What will happen? When you refresh this file, why? Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay, I don't know what is happening with this like browser. So when you like create a variable with xyz, I didn't pass anything, so by default is set to be undefined. Undefined is the different part, very unique things about JavaScript. It is not available in any different programming language. Means you can create a variable or declare a variable without passing to any value, and this value will be like when you initialize this value, its value by default is undefined. Okay, suppose I'm going to create another value like max whatever you have to run, and when you're passing this like, so again it will show the undefined. Okay, so this is the way that you have to create a variable with the value or without the value. By default is set to be undefined. Okay, now you see that there's a var keyword to assigning or creating a variable, but there is also the other way to have to create the variable. So second is the by the late keyword. Suppose I'm going to pass richa. Okay, name and richa and printing this name. When you refresh this path, you see the richa means it is good, means you can create the variable like var, you can create the variable by var, we can also create the variable late. But late is like it is like new new keywords of the JavaScript, and I will be discuss in the later classes why, what is the difference between late and what is the difference between var. Okay, most of the property are same for the var and the late, but few cases, and it is called the scope. Sometime there is a term will come in the future classes the call scope, block scope or something like that, hostings. So where you can see the different behavior of late and the var. So now apart from this var and late, there is one more thing is called const. And suppose I'm going to write num and I'm passing 12 and I'm going to print None. So see, when you refresh this browser, you see 12 is coming. Means it is also looks similar like where, late and const. But there is a major difference in the const as compared to the where and the late. What the difference is that I'm going to discuss in this class. Suppose I'm going to create three variables where a and passing like 12, where b and passing 45, where c I'm going to passing, oh no, sorry, let's see, and passing const d 56 or c. Okay, I'm going to write console a, console log b, log c. Now I'm going to save it. Everything is printed. Okay, but suppose I'm going to be update the value 89, 56 or 22 and c is equal to 102, and again I'm going to print this console and run it. Now I'm going to refresh it. Okay, you see there's some error is coming, so I'm going to understand how this error is coming to this file. So I'm going to be comment this two line of code. There's something. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, now see, I created a variable with var a. I'm going to print this variable and I'm going to update that variable and printing this. Now when I refresh it, first it will print in 12 and second it will print in 89, means after the updating the value. Now the next time I am changing this variable for the b and with the late keyword. Same thing, everything is same, but only the difference is the late. It is working 45 and 22. Now I am going to change and see. Here you see, first it will print the C value, which is the 56, but when you update the value by 102, it will be return an error. Means you cannot update the value. You cannot update the value of the variable in a JavaScript like this way with the const keyword. Const is only when you like create a variable, like it will be like what, it will not change. Means you cannot change the value of a const variable anytime in the JavaScript programming language. Same as I am going to discuss const again in few minutes later when I discussing about the array and the list. So this is a pretty simple thing, so I'm not going to discuss this thing again and again. So I'm going to start the next topic now. So you already know, I guess you already know about this things about JavaScript. So now I'm going talking about some thing which is like the data collection. Okay, which is very important role in the upcoming classes I am going to discuss in the few minutes later. So first means you see you have created the variable by the late var and whatever you have to use like const. But suppose you are going to create a variable for the 59 student. You are suppose you are the student or monitor of your classroom and you get a task to write the create a variable for all the students, and there are 56 students are there. So you have to create the variable like this: name 1 Ajay, name 2 Vikas, name 3 Arun, name 4 anyway name Jeet. So this is the way that you have to create a variable, but this is not a good idea to create a variable like this way. So that's why we are going to use collection things. The first lesson that we will discuss in this classroom about the JavaScript is array. So you can create an array, but just like you have to create a variable like names, and instead of passing directly variable, you have to use bracket sign. Bracket sign contain the value of the variable. Suppose I'm going to write Ajay, Vikas, Arun, Rakesh. Okay, so you have created this variable and see this is a variable. And now what's the advantage? There's someone coming. Guys, this name is what? Krishnansu Mahapada, you joined every day late. Why? What's the happening? Otherwise, you still try to join the class on time. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand the further topics. Means because right now this we are going like basic stuff. That's why you can skip the class and there's no issue you are facing. But in the future classes, you are getting you will facing some issues because today we are talking about very important term in the JavaScript which we are going to use every time when you're creating any application. Okay, so only this is my suggestion, not like I'm not forcing you. Yeah, I'm only giving a suggestion like from just like elder brother, not like forcing you to join the class on time. Okay, so now, so arrays just like you can be access any variable. Suppose you have created a variable like name one and you are Ajay. So you know this is the variable name, but how you can be access the value Vikas to this array? So don't worry. List supported. Suppose you're going to be console.log and you want to print the Vikas. So you can be use name, so names, and you have to pass bracket sign. You have to pass some a number here, and the number is like the index value. So index value just like this is the index value 0, this is the index value 1, means starting from 0. So if you want to print Vikas, you have to pass 1 and you will see Vikas is there. This is the way that you access the index. Not only the like array can be accessed by this way, but also you can change any value. Like suppose you want to suppose you pass the console.names. This is the name, and now I'm going to change the names of one and with the Rohit, means I'm going to change this value with the Rohit. Again I'm going to console name. So see what is happening. The first is containing this name Ajay, Vikas, Arun and Rakesh, and second is like Ajay, Rohit, like Arun and Rakesh. So now this is working well. Okay, now I'm going to change with late and I'm going to save and run it. Everything is same, the output is same. You know the var and late can be changed, but what is happening if you pass the const? Now tell me what will be the output when we are going to use to create an array using const? What? Okay, okay, but when you refresh this page it will not giving any error. So why? If the const has property that you cannot change the value of the names or the const variable, then why this is working in this time? Anyone have any like answer of this? This program doesn't give any error. They are giving the right output same as var and the late. क्यों दे रहा है ये सही आउटपुट? Okay, ओके, ऐसा है क्या? नो, ये region is not like write the region, but the region is like when you're creating an array, so it is meaning that what is happening in the like in the program. So when you're creating a variable, so this variable, just one second. Okay, this variable has some reference. Okay, this variable has some reference, meaning okay, drawing is not working in this browser. Okay, so what is happening, guys? So when you're creating a variable, like a normal variable like a string or number, but variable like just like collection. So it is meaning that they have some reference. Okay, and you change the value of this. So it is meaning that you are not changing the reference value of the name variable. That's why it is working. That's why it is working. Okay, my paint is not working in my Chrome browser right now. I don't know why. Otherwise I will show. Okay, let me check this. Just one second. I guess this time. Okay, it is meaning that when you create a like a const, I don't know. Okay, anyway, I will discuss this part in the later classes. Don't worry about this. Is basic stuff. Means this you are not changing the value. You are changing only the reference value, and I will discuss these things in the later. I will explain this part by the drawing part. But don't worry about it. This is the way that you have to access the right value. Let me go small. Okay. Okay. List of content, list which will help you to add the data and remove the data. Remove this name of the data. The data in the list, so you can be add like this way, like name, add data, name dot push, and you pass Akash, and when you console dot log, see Akash. Suppose you want to add name dot push Vikas, Ranjit, Alok, and see everything is working. So this is a way that you have to add the data in the list by using a push method. Same as you have some method for remove the data, like remove data, and I'm going to use, and that is the pop will be like data which will be like remove, and also it will return the data, and like console dot log names. Listen carefully. It will add the data until this, and again you are going to print this name, and what will happen with the pop function. So first you will add Akash, Vikas, Ranjit, and Alok, and then after you have to like add the pop function, and it will remove the data like this, and you can remove the data like this. But not only the remove the data by this way, there is also a very popular method to remove the data from the array, and this is the data, and so I'm going to comment this code, right, and run it again. So this is the data, and I want to remove Ranjit. So what should I do? So remove again, and this time I'm going to use name. And guys, this method will be you can use most of the time in the code program in the application. and it is called the splice. Okay, a splice also explained in the VSD code. You have to pass a start number and how many element want to delete from this list. So now I want to be add like good. I want to remove Ranjit only. So first index is 0, 1 and 2. So you have to pass 2 and then you have to pass 1. Then you pass 1. It is meaning that I want to remove the index from 2 and I want to remove only one element. So it will means you can only remove the Ranjit from this. So when you console and pass names, listen carefully, this splice function will like use multiple time in application, so you have to be memorize the system and see Ranjit has been removed from this position. Okay, same as suppose again I'm going to write here, run it again. Suppose I'm going to remove from 1 and remove 2 element, not 1 element. Okay, so let me run this. First, it will remove first element Akash, Vikas, Ranjit, Alok, and now Akash and Alok are there because you have removed from the first element from the Vikas and you are removing two elements. So that's why it will remove Vikas and Ranjit both and only Akash and Alok remains. So guys, this splice function is clear to everyone. Okay. Okay. Now, I know that multiple function is also available in this like list, but I'm not going to discuss that function in this classroom. I'm going to discuss maybe in the when I creating the project, I will discuss that time. Okay, before that's why we are going to jumping to the next topic. So this is the way that you have to create the variable as a list variable or array variable. Same as I'm going to discuss about some object variable, which is very important because without understanding object you cannot create any application. Now how to create object? So right, same as var let const, you can create the object. So I'm going to create the object. So in the object in the JavaScript can be created like this way. Suppose I'm going to create object of person. Okay, so guys, before creating the person object and all, I want to know how many people are know what is the meaning of object in the programming language. Guys, how many people know what the meaning of object? Tell me. Anyone know what is the meaning of object? No, don't worry about it. Let's understand. Guys, suppose when I creating a variable age, you understand that this is a variable age and age is generally has a value in a number like 45 or 56. But when you create a variable like a name, you can understand, oh, name is just like some text are there, string are there. Now when you're creating like weight, so maybe there's some float number, decimal number are there. This is the way. And suppose I'm going to write like is alive. This I asking question. This means this true or false can be the output. But when I creating a variable car, so you can be in your mind that car come to your picture. आपके mind में car बन के आ रही होगी. Okay, some white color, gray color, some car name like a Baleno, Swift Desire, Rolls Royce, whatever. Then means when I creating a variable age, so generally you understand, oh, there's some number are associated with that. When I asking some name, so you understand, oh, there's some name is string is associated with that. When I talking about the weight, you already understand that there's some float number is associated with that. Just asking some this type of question, you can understand this type of question is like true or false is the possible output. But when telling the car, so car is not like the single name. Car could be anything. Car has some multiple features and all. So this type of variable you can be created by the object. Okay, like this, and you have to write all the property add just like name, Swift, okay, color, white is petrol. True, mileage 23.08 or 8, price in lakh 8 lakhs, and okay. So it is the meaning that you can add all the property are there. So this is the way that you have to create the object. So guys, object definition is clear for everyone. Means you can associate multiple variable in a single object like this. Clear, guys? So we are dealing object things multiple times in a project. So suppose how can we use this? How can we access and how can we use this object in the code? Suppose when you console, suppose this data is coming from some server, okay, and you want to display this data in the browser. So you can access this data like this console, like car dot name. See, shift, see, not only like this, you can also access like this, and you can also display directly entire car. You can not only access this variable, but also you can change the variable. Suppose you want to change the price or mileage. Suppose you want to change the price, so can be changed like car mileage and pass new variable 18, and then console car. So first time your the car mileage is 23 and second time your car mileage is 18. You can not only add the variable, and you cannot access or change the variable like this, but you can also add some new property to this car variable. And now when you run this, first property, it's not contain the owner name, but in the second time, just 1 second, I think, okay, owner name, I think it's working. Let me check why is this not working. Okay, it's working actually. Okay, owner name. So this is the way that you have to change. Not you are not only the one, but you also like the company. Maruti Suzuki, na Maruti. So second time it contain the company name. So you can also add and add value like this way. You can not only add, but also you can remove some value like delete, add delete property, and just like car dot color, and you have to write car. And this is the way. First contain this honor everything, price or color. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. So because of some hosting feature of JavaScript, it is removed from all the variable. Means this operation is done before this console part. That's why. But this is the way that you have to remove the any property. Okay. Now this point is clear, guys. That how to we create an object, how to access the object data, and how can we change the object data, how can we add new data to the object data. Clear? Now think about that. Go to a website. I'm going to use this object in a different format, and I'm going to write Amazon.in, and when you go to the Amazon and pass search mobile, when you're searching mobile, there multiple information is coming to your website like Redmi, price, OnePlus, and something like that. Okay, they are not creating this page by the proper HTML, and not like everything is hard coded. This all the pages are dynamic. These pages are the dynamic. So somewhere this data is stored in the database, and you are retrieving this data as a collection, as an object, and something like that, and you are displaying the data in your browser. So now how we do that? So I am going to be create a variable like mobiles or maybe like some persons, and this is a collection contain the name. Okay, now when you run you see all the name. So this from your database, not like a single some normal variable. So this is the way that you have to be like access this person now. But sometimes you have to modify this data before displaying this data. So you can be display this data multiple times using the loop, but not discuss basic stuff. We will discuss some operation, means you have to modify data and display data in different format. The first is like by using the map function will be. So I'm going to run person. It is you be person updated. Hello, one second. It's clear. Thank you. And now see, this person is this variable and this updated is this. When I refresh this, both are the same output. But I want to be display means I want to add some sir, madam or something like that. I want to be add like Mr. and all. So I'm going to add. I want to be modify this data. I want to means I want to be display the data like this. Dear Amin, dear and something like that. So I don't want to disturb the data again. I want to modify the data by using the code. So there are two way, either using the loop. The two way, either using the loop. So like you have to create it the const updated and you have to create this and you have to use for let I is equal to 0, I less than person dot length. There's something is new like length variable and all. But don't worry, if you're not understanding, I will explain it again. And you have to update it dot push. Before like that you have to write dear. Now see what will happen. You created a new variable and every time you have to push the data by using the loop and you update it. Now see, when you refresh it, first it will be display Amin, Richa, Mukesh, Pawan and so on, and then it display the second output like this. So this is a way that you have to modify the data. Before jumping to the map function, I want to understand, I want to know that is there is any problem to understand this code? Any problem? I know the for loop is new for you maybe, but I guess you understand the for loop. For loop is no problem, na? There is no problem at all. Okay. Yes. Yes. You are telling that you can update this variable. You want to update directly, not like you don't. Yes, it is possible. Yes. Like dot need to be this, and instead of writing push function, you have to use. Let me comment this that you have to get this. Yeah, this is good question you have asked. So you have to write persons I. Just one second, everyone. हेलो. हाँ. आप रोज 750 कैसे ले जाएगा? 250-300 लगे करेगा. हाँ तो है भी है, 450 तो हो सकता है. आप लोग दोनों कटाया वो काहे ला मत दीजिए, ऑटो टैक्स से बात कर लेते हैं. छोड़ दीजिए, हम बात कर लेते हैं सर. हाँ बस दे दीजिए. ठीक से पहुँच गया था ना? ठीक से पहुँच गया था ना? हाँ थोड़ा सा गलती हो गई. आप क्या बताएंगे, मिस्टेक की वजह से थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम में फंस गए आप लोग. आप तो हल्ला मत कीजिए ना, सब जब में करते हैं आपको तक लड़ाएगा. ठीक है ठीक है. Hello. Okay, now yeah, this is you have asked a good question, but you have to write the code like this, dear, and you have to write person I. But the both have the same output, but you will lose the previous data for this program. There's some issue. Okay, clear? If you write console person again, it's clear, guys. Okay now. So, but I won't want to use loops again and again. I want to be write the data in a different format. So that is the first function I'm going to use again and again in the later classes, and that is called. Just 1 second. हेलो. हाँ कासिम भैया. हाँ कासिम सब ठीक से हो गया, पहुँच गया आप लोग. तो निकल जाइए. टोल टैक्स का जो है ना, हम आपको फ़ोन पे कर दे रहे हैं. कितना और देना है बता दीजिए. टोल टैक्स का पेमेंट कर दिए, और या फिर कर दिए आप यहाँ से ले लीजिए, जैसा बोलिए आप कर लीजिए. हाँ. अरे ठीक है ठीक है. चलिए आइए ना जो. ठीक. हेलो हेलो हेलो. हाँ सॉरी. एक्चुअली हुआ क्या ना, मेरे घर में आज आग लग गई. सो सो क्या मैं बोलूँ. वही कॉल आ रहा है मेरे को बार बार कि सब ठीक है कि नहीं. एनीवे, so now let's understand the map function. It's very important, so I'm going to use this. So now instead of this, I'm directly modify the data like this map. The map is a function, guys. So before writing this map function, let me understand what is the meaning of function in JavaScript. So you can create the function in the JavaScript very easily. You have to use a keyword called function, and you have to write function name like double number. Okay, this is a function is some identifier name you have to pass. This could be the unique, and it's need some parameter, but you can also use create a function without a parameter. Suppose I'm going to pass a num, and you have to use curly braces. The double num has a property that this function will be convert the number there twice, so it will be written num into 2. This is a normal function. Okay, so you can be like directly, if you want to print this function like double num, and if you pass in 2, so it will be okay. So this is the meaning that you creating a new variable new num, and you passing the double number by passing the 2, it will return the multiply of 2, means this function will be convert the number by 2. So when you new in, so your output will be like 4. I know most of the people are already know about that. So also you cannot like assigning a new variable, directly you call this function like this, like this. It is like function. So I'm not telling you how to create a function in JavaScript. I know you already know about that, but I'm going to use different way to write a function. That is called the arrow function. So you can create the same function like this, const double number, and you have to use this and give this and this. Okay, and return. Okay, double number. So this function and this function are the same. Okay, so if you write comment this line and same this line, it returns the same output. This is called the arrow function of JavaScript. Sometimes you have to use the arrow because you are going to use the arrow function multiple times in the program. So don't worry about it. What will happen? I will explain everything. So this is a way to normal this is a way that you have to create an arrow function. Suppose you directly return this variable. You don't need to use curly braces. You can directly return in a single line of code. Oh, don't need to use, even don't need to use the return keyword. And also working. So this is a way to have to create a function in the JavaScript, and is very important. Okay, now so I am going to use
Map is a property of this object, and this function pass a callback function. Okay, this function pass a callback function internally. Okay, and it return the data. So this function, if you passing the map in iteratable object, means it will be iterate every element like this, like your p, means p is indication of the element of the object, element of the list. This is Amin, Richa, and so on. So you directly, instead of, if you're passing p here, you're passing p here, and you console dot log updated, you see the same. But suppose you passing here plus p, so it will modify the entire data very easily in a single line of code. And most of the time you have to using this map function. Also, this map function is not only useful for the list, but it's also useful for the list plus object. So I am going to modify this data, or maybe I am going to create a new data, and instead of passing why this person, okay, and you have to, this is the object, so you have to add the property. Sorry, so name is, age is 26, and gender is male. Okay, so now I'm going to 4 element, and in this case Richa female, Yogesh. So suppose this is some database, and you, when you console.log person, listen carefully, this is very important. So when you please person, it will display the data like this: age, gender, male. Okay, but I don't want to return all the information. I want to return only the name. So you can be print, you can write the code names, and you have to write the person dot map pass p, because p is the object of this list, and return p dot name. So suppose p dot name, when you console dot log names, it will be written, so not name, it's names. It will return Amin, Richa, and Yogesh from this database. Suppose I am going to modify this database. I want to be add Mr. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mrs. something like that. So you know the male person as a Mr. and female person as Mrs. So you don't need to be written directly. You need to be written by the operation like this. If p dot gender equal to male, then return Mr. p dot name, else return Mrs. p dot name. Okay, just 1 second. Why this error is coming? Now everything is same. When you run this code, you see Mr. Amin, Mrs. Richa, Mr. Yogesh, and Mrs. Mali, and you see that you can modify the data very easily by the map, by the condition code, and by the return statement. So this is the way that you have to use the modify the data in the upcoming classes, where I am going to use the data in this format like this. So guys, tell me, this part is clear? There's any issue to understand to this code? Tell me if you are facing any issue. Tell me what's the issue. Okay, because I'm going to write this code again and again in the later classes. And tomorrow, after the tomorrow, means in the next classes will happen in the Tuesday, not Tuesday, Wednesday, where I'm going to create a application, shopping, no, it's not shopping application, weather application. Maybe I'm going to use this type of things in that classes. and also I'm going to start the reject in the later classes. This is enough things for starting the project on the reject, and this is the thing. And I want to look, and I will look your project which you submitted in a Google Classroom, and I will rate your some name which is where the project is best and not worst, but I will tell the some name who has a better project.